Hello?
Hi, Kevin. It's Mary from Dystopia. I'm calling from Somalia.
Ah, Mary. Glad you called. How is the project going?
Well, it's off to a rough start. It's been 3 months now, and we've only completed two of the school buildings instead of four. We're supposed to have completed all four 3 months in, so we're off schedule. The materials have been quite difficult to get to unrest in the country, and it's just taking a lot longer than expected.
Is there any way you can try and extend the grant to be more long term so that you can.
Wait, I already sent pictures of the buildings to the donors so that they can see that we're on track for the most part. Well, there's actually another problem.
Well, the pictures don't really give them an idea of the impact
Well,
that.
wait, let me finish. The donors need pictures because it's a tangible output of our work. It's important for them to be able to show their supporters. There's another problem. Um, Well, we're able to recruit some teachers for the schools, but most expressed a huge concern regarding a steady salary and long-term employment. Well, there's no government right here now in Somalia to pay these wages for public schools. I actually don't know how they'll be paid after our project is complete. W- We can't guarantee more funding.
Did you express this concern to the donors yet? Perhaps they could reconsider and extend your grant, making it more long term so that you could work amongst the community or other organizations there in order to come up with a plan to support the teachers, ensuring education continues at these schools.
Well, I can't tell them. They'll think that we don't know how to carry out this project. I'm, I'm just gonna wait and see. Well, I have to go meet one of my coworkers in the lobby now.
Oh, you're staying in a hotel?
Oh yes, it's one of the fanciest hotels in Somalia, actually. Oh, not sure why we're staying here though. It's kind of far removed from everywhere. But one of our team members isn't used to living below a certain standard. You know how it is.
I'm not sure that I do.
Well, anyways, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, you can also email me too. I'm sure using your company's cell phone for personal calls doesn't look too good.
I don't really think anyone pays attention. Bye. Hi, Kevin. Well, 3 more months have gone by, and we only have one school left to build. I'm sure you think we're leaving everything to the last minute, but we actually already had school programs and curriculums planned. We just took the basic structure from an education program we implemented in India and had a translator work on it. Anyways, we've now stumbled across a few problems, and I'm not sure if we can do anything about them. We're having a problem filling the schools with students. The schools we've built are nearly empty, and the students who are in the class are all male students. It's going to involve a lot of manpower to go out and find students. There is likely to be another unforeseen cost to get them to the school. I'm just not sure what to tell the donors in our final report. I don't have to send any information now because we aren't required to do any periodic reporting. The donors had just wanted to see the initial results, the pictures of the new buildings, so it's not so bad. Any suggestions? Mary.
Dear Mary, it seems that you and your team lack an understanding of the culture and context of the situation in Somalia. Families in Somalia right now are quite nomadic. Since they are primarily concerned with just getting by from day to day, they are focused on working the land. Families tend to want their children to stay at home to work so that the family can survive, so the idea of education does not come across very well. If they can afford to send their children to school, most likely they can only afford to send one, and it's going to be male children. It's important to try and communicate amongst the local communities to see what you can do to change their minds about sending their children. Perhaps they would find education concerning agriculture to be more useful instead of writing or reading. You might have to end up providing a jug of oil, for example, something that is very valuable to the families so that they have an incentive to send their children. Also, it might not be a good idea to have such permanent schools due to the nomadic culture. I know you are doing the very best that you can, but it's very important for the donors to hear about this. They need to understand why the project might take many years to complete and why it may be more expensive with results that might not be as tangible as they would like. Measuring an increase in literacy takes time, as the students need to learn how to read first before they are tested. There are many organizations working in Somalia that may be of assistance. I would consider reaching out and partnering with them. Kevin.
Hey there, long time no see.
Hey, Mary. I never heard back from you. What happened with the project?
Well, at the end of the project, I had to do a lot of explanatory reporting. Basically, I informed them that we were severely understaffed to take on such a big project and that 1 year was just not enough time.
Well, your accountability to your donors seems to really have hindered your work.
How exactly? I know they had some strict requirements and all, but.
Well, in my organization, for example, we didn't accept grants from donors with such strict requirements and no degree of flexibility. We have quite different relationship with our donors. It's best to set the expectations right from the beginning so that they have a better understanding of the project. Often we need a lot of flexibility towards the beginning of a project before we start any real planning or implementation.
Hmm?
For example, we will propose at least a 3-month time period where we will go to a country and through observation see what sort of approaches might work and then test a few of those out as pilot projects. We can use our creativity to find something that works and then can start to reproduce this on a larger scale. In the end, we are putting the money we get from our donors to better use because our projects turn out more successful and have a bigger impact towards meeting our long-term goals. Instead of focusing on the short term, we focus on the long term, which allows us to gather and deliver quantitative and qualitative information. This is our strategic process. With your process, it sounds
Well,
like...
our process involved functional accountability, where we needed to show only the immediate results to our outputs to our donors.
Right. Well, keep in mind, my projects involve a learning process, and we do make mistakes along the way, but we keep our donors well informed so that they understand. Our reporting format is actually quite flexible and quite frequent. Our donors are not as much concerned with measuring the project by dollars or time, but by the reach and impact of the projects and programs we work on and implement, as well as their sustainability.
It didn't seem as though our funders were interested in the process. They just wanted us to do our job.
Not all of them are. Many, as with your project, want to see results from your outputs right away, such as the actual schools being built, disregarding the difficulties of measuring actual outcomes and impacts of the project that will be meaningful in such a short time period. Education is especially difficult to measure. That's why it's important that donors financially support the assessment and evaluation of projects at the beginning. Our donors, for example, provide such funds and actively help us develop and experiment with different forms of assessment. They also allow us to have some creativity in designing and planning the project, and give us a say in the evaluation process, since we know more about the situation and what is actually working. This is different than the cookie-cutter mentality that you seem to have used in your project, simply replicating past projects or programs that might have had different contexts and just applying them anywhere.
I see. I guess using the programs we had implemented in India for our education programs in Somalia wasn't the best idea. Maybe we're far too accountable to our donors and should have had more ownership of the project.